What makes a man turn hatred into a national movement? How does an idea become a weapon powerful enough to kill millions? This is not just the story of Adolf Hitler. It's the story of how a lie fed by fear and fueled by power led to one of the greatest atrocities in human history, the Holocaust. The roots of hatred. To understand why Hitler killed Jews, we have to go back. Before the concentration camps, before the swastikas, before Hitler was even known. Born in 1889 in Austria, Hitler grew up in a world already tinged with antisemitism. In many parts of Europe, Jews were often blamed for societal problems, from banking failures to moral decline, but this prejudice wasn't yet violent, not yet. After World War I, Germany was broken. It had lost the war. Its economy was in ruins. Its pride shattered by the harsh Treaty of Versailles. Unemployment soared. People were starving. And amidst the chaos, people wanted someone to blame. That's when Hitler, a failed artist and former soldier, stepped into the spotlight. The rise of propaganda. In Hitler's speeches, he found a simple narrative that worked. According to him, Germany hadn't lost the war on the battlefield. No, it had been betrayed. By whom? The answer he gave was chilling. By Jews. This became known as the Stab and Babak myth, a fabricated story that claimed Jewish politicians and bankers had deliberately caused Germany's defeat. It wasn't true, not even close. But to a starving, humiliated population, it felt like an answer. And answers are powerful. As Hitler's Nazi party grew, so did his lies. He accused Jews of controlling the banks, the media, and corrupting German values. He said they were not just different, they were dangerous, and people listened. Turning hate into policy in 1933, Hitler became Chancellor of Germany, and his words turned into action. The Nazi government passed laws stripping Jews of their rights. They were banned from jobs, barred from schools, marked, tracked, and dehumanized. It didn't stop there. The Nuremberg laws of 1935 made it illegal for Jews to marry non-Jews, effectively turning them into outsiders in their own country. All of this wasn't random cruelty. It was calculated. Part of Hitler's twisted vision of racial purity. He believed in an Aryan master race, and in that ideology, Jews were a threat that had to be removed. Kristallnacht. And the escalation in November 1938, something terrifying happened. A young Jewish boy in Paris shot a German official. In retaliation, the Nazis unleashed what they called Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. Jewish homes, businesses, and synagogues were destroyed across Germany. Over 30,000 Jews were arrested in a single night. But the glass wasn't the only thing shattered, so was any illusion of safety for Jews in Germany. This marked the transition from discrimination to systematic persecution. The final solution when World War II began in 1939. The Nazis expanded eastward, and so did their hatred. As they conquered Poland and other territories, they forced Jews into ghettos. Entire communities were crammed into small, filthy neighborhoods, starved and cut off from the world. But this was only the beginning. In 1941, Nazi leadership decided it wasn't enough to isolate Jews. They wanted them gone, completely. This plan was called the Final Solution, a horrifying code for mass extermination. The Nazis built death camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Sobibor. Jews were transported in cattle cars, told they were going for resettlement. Instead, they were gassed, shot, or worked to death. By the end of the war, over 6 million Jews had been murdered. Men, women, children, erased from history because of a lie. Why did Hitler do it? So why did Hitler kill Jews? It wasn't just one reason. It was a mix of deep-rooted anti-Semitism, political strategy, personal obsession, and a need for control. Hitler didn't just hate Jews. He needed them as a common enemy to unite his people. He turned racism into government policy, used fear to gain loyalty. He knew that if people were busy hating the other, they wouldn't rebel against him. In short, he weaponized hate. The aftermath and reminder, when the world discovered what had happened in the camps, the shock was unimaginable. Bodies in mass graves, survivors barely alive, eyewitnesses haunted for life. The Holocaust wasn't just a tragedy. It was a warning, a testament to what happens when hate goes unchecked. Even today, we see echoes of propaganda, division, and fear-mongering around the world. And that's why we must remember this story, not just as history, but as a lesson. Millions died because of a lie, because one man's hatred became law. But history doesn't have to repeat itself. It's up to us to learn, to question, and to speak out, because silence is what let it happen. This was the disturbing truth behind why Hitler killed Jews. If this story moved you, share it, and let the truth never be forgotten.